I am, I was about to say police officer Eric Adams. I am Borough President Eric Adams, and I'm really proud to be here with a representation of 300 NYPD members who really is getting a raw deal on something that the police department, the city of New York, and the city council can make the right deal. They made a deal with us several years ago stating that they would serve and protect the city of New York, and because of an administrative error that the city now is attempting to correct from 2012 on, they need to go back and correct from the initial time of the mistake. I really want to thank my colleagues who have joined me here today, City Council Member Brannan, City Council Member Robbie Cornegy, City Council Member Powers is not here at the time, but he'll be joining us, City Council Member Moya, and also City Council Member Dr. Matthew Eugene. And I also want to thank Senator Andrew Gonatas, who I spoke with last night, who will be putting a bill in the Senate, as well as an Assembly Member, Peter Abate, who will be putting the bill in the Assembly. We're going to have a combination of bills that will be put in Albany to right this wrong. These NYPD members who are behind me, again, they represent the 300 cadets who serve and protect this city in an apprenticeship program. The cadet program allows the cadets to really function side by side with police officers as they carried out their function. They were the partners that brought down the unprecedented decrease in crime. This was a real decrease in crime that our city experienced, and they were part of that apparatus. You cannot disconnect the public safety apparatus and take out the pieces that you find did a job or didn't do a job. No, we all did this together, and these cadets, at the time, they were representative of that. Now, they are full-time officers, some of them are sergeants. They're now part of the police department. We want to make sure they get their just due. The problem is, when they signed up, they made a commitment to serve and protect our city with the fully sworn police officers who were there. However, as a result of the city misinterpretation of the law, they were denied the right to join the city pension as cadets. They were denied because of the city's misinterpretation of the law. Not their misinterpretation, but the city's misinterpretation. This means that unlike almost all other city employees, the years they spent as cadets did not account towards their pension time, and it does not account. They effectively were removed from the right to be part of a pension system that they should have been a part of, and it was the city's misinterpretation. This is unacceptable. This is not how we treat our finest. Their call for equity is not call for charity. They're saying they did their job, we must be responsible in doing our job and giving them what they earned. While the city corrected the mistake in 2012, all the officers from 2012 going forward will receive the benefits, but the city is not saying what they ought to be saying. Let's go back and make everyone whole in the process. You cannot have half measures resolved. All the measures must be resolved. This simple measure that would have a major impact on the lives of over 300 police officers who deserve the benefits that were promised. Promises made should be promises kept. That is the tone that the mayor said when he was running for office. That's the tone that all elected officials have embodied. Well, those promises made to these cadets should be the promises that are kept at the same time. So we're really calling on the mayor and the speaker to right this wrong and put the lives of these cadets on the right track. These young men and women serve and protect the city. We must do everything we can to serve and protect their rights to the proper pension benefits. What you should also acknowledge, if it has not been lost on you, look at the faces of these men and women. They are really the faces of our city. We fought for so many years to diversify out the police department. People and young people coming from all different walks of life, white, black, Asian, Muslim, Jewish, Christian. This is what our police department should look like and what it represents. So you cannot deny those who have fought so hard to diversify our law enforcement apparatus the basic rights that they earn as police officers. And I think that the two of the individuals who are here today really personifies the diversity of our department and the spirit of what our department is coming to. We want to be the finest. We must do what is right by those who are the finest. So I want to call on Sergeant Wang and Officer Burgess. They both have really added to this, their voice to this conversation. And again, they represent the diversity of this great department we call the NYPD. Sergeant Wang.
Good morning, God. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for supporting us. We really appreciate it. Everybody here, we're all here on our personal capacity. And I just want to give you guys a quick background of what exactly we're speaking about here. The NYPD Cadet program is an apprenticeship program. Every single officer here, we started via the Cadet Corps. What happened was the following. I'm a guy who grew up in Harlem. I'm now a neighborhood coordination officer, 125th Amsterdam and Broadway. Went to school in the city, went to college in the city, went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Job fair came over. I go to the job fair. The guy says, we're looking for guys who are black and Latino and who are going to graduate from college. It's a $15 an hour paying job. We'll give you a stipend for college. Would you join? Sounds great. I said, of course, why not? So I joined as a cadet. I worked in Manhattan South Vice, worked undercover stings, did many things. I'm sure everybody else here has a different story of what exactly they did. So they're looking for full-time students. The deal is the following. You sign a contract. They paid for the rest of your school, but you have to become a police officer for at least 2 years. If you don't do that, you have to pay back the money they gave you with interest. Well, long story short, we've been here for at least 10 years, everybody here, and we did our part. We're inner city youth, we're inner city people, black, Latino, Spanish. We fulfilled our parts. People went up the ranks, sergeants, lieutenants, detectives, but this isn't really a union issue. It's an issue of justice. As the time went on, we fought. I worked for the city since the year 2007 as a cadet. If I go into the website now, nicer, it'll say Officer Burgos, employed by the city since the year 2007. But I'm only getting credited from the year 2010. So I worked here, and anybody else who was a part-time lifeguard, city employee, their time was honored, but we were the forgotten class. Started making noise about it, and in 2012, NYSERS put out a statement saying, we did a mistake. From now on, anybody who's a cadet from the year 2012 and on, you guys are eligible to sign up for NYSERS. So now if you become an officer in 2015, since you worked from the year 2012, I'm sorry, your time is counted. So their stuff was rectified, but we're still in the limbo. And we're here simply asking for justice, nothing else other than justice and for it to be rectified. And I think Penny can furthermore explain on it.
So I myself, I have a similar story like Manny Burgos. I grew up in the city. I was born and raised. I'm first generation. I'm female, Asian. From a very young age, I grew up next door to the precinct, and I was like, I look so different from my typical police station. I'm a female, I'm an Asian. The typical police station, you go in there, especially in the neighborhood I grew up in, Bensonhurst, was all male white officers. So I, from a very young age, at the age of second grade, knew I wanted to be a police officer. I went to John Jay College like Manny. I went to a job fair with the Cadet Corps. They just offered so much to me, and I was like, I can do this. I can make this happen by going to the Cadet Corps because they'll pay for my school, they'll give me a scholarship, and of course, I'll give them back 2 years. In the end, who wins? I win and the city wins because this is something I wanted to do. I wanted to bring this to the city, and of course, after 2 years, I stayed with the NYPD, and I plan to stay with the NYPD for the next 2 years. And in saying this is so unfair to us because we all started in 2008, 2007, but the city had made a mistake, and in 2012 they corrected this mistake that they made. We weren't able to contribute to our pension because we even though we had to take a promotional exam like a traffic officer, a school safety officer, we didn't get that opportunity to to us because it was a mistake. And the city recognized the mistake that they made in 2012, and they made a correction to NYSIS. And now cadets, after 2012, they're able to contribute to this pension system. Yet us, who were here from 2007 to 2012, we were not afforded that opportunity. We're not asking for anything free. We want just the same opportunity to pay into our pension and to be able to get the same rights that everybody from 2012 are getting. We were the small forgotten group. But cadets who were cadets prior to 2007, they are afforded that opportunity to pay into their pension, except for us 300, we don't have that opportunity. The Cadet Corps, it gave us so many opportunities because we are able to go in there, we get our foot in the door, and we learn firsthand of what the cadet does. And we get paid a salary, contributing to the pension system, and then the new guys, they can do it, but then us, we were forgotten about.
So we're just asking if for your support. We would like the issue to be rectified. We're willing to pay back into it. We took a promotional exam. It wasn't over competitive, but promotion. So if you take a promotion, you're already working for the department you're working for. And I thank you guys for coming out here and hearing our situation.
Thank you. We really want to thank these officers for coming forward and talking about this issue. And it's so important that both the mayor and the speaker address it. And I think by having members of the city council here present today, it really reinforces why this issue is so important. So we want to call our council members, starting with Councilman Brannan and then Councilman Cornegy.
How many times have we stood on the steps of City Hall and spoken about how unions are the pathway to the middle class? How many times have we stood on the steps of City Hall and talked about doing the right thing by communities of color? Two of these issues right here intersect with the issue we're dealing with today. These guys behind me, these brave men and women, are getting left behind. And these guys don't let anybody else get left behind. When other people run out, these guys run in. And we're doing the wrong thing by them. We need to do the right thing. These guys don't leave anybody behind. Now it's our turn to make sure we didn't leave them behind. When I leave my house every day, when I touch that doorknob, there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna come home tonight and see my wife and be okay. Unfortunately, these guys don't have that same promise. But they take that every day, they take that chance, they take that risk. That's what they signed up for. That's what they signed up for, and they deserve credit for every single second that they're on the job. So what's happening here is not right, and I stand here ready to be a partner with the Speaker, the Mayor, with Albany, to do whatever we need to do to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the record, I brought an umbrella big enough for all of us. Listen, a lot has already been said. What I just like to add to that is, this is a very simple fix, and the amount of individuals that it will positively impact and the cost make this inevitable that we should do it. With an incredible budget on the state and city level, we always demonstrate our priorities by how our budget reflects that. And we should be demonstrating our commitment that's been said by everyone from the governor to the mayor to the speaker about how committed we are to making sure that those who protect us, we protect them. This is a very simple, resounding message that we could send to the men and women of NYPD that we really respect and appreciate the work that they do every single day. Enough lip service. The amount that it costs to fix this is not worth the amount of misery, pain, and agony over the last few years that these members have had to suffer through, wondering whether or not we actually care as much as we say we care. I'm saying to the mayor and the speaker, let's demonstrate what I've heard from your mouths directly, which is your commitment to the NYPD to make sure that they are the best and most well-paid in the country. Let's do that today. Thank you.
And our fellow Councilman Eugene Powers and Councilman Moya had another event for Eugene and Powers.
Thank you very much. I'm Councilmember Matthew Eugene, representing District 40 and Brooklyn. I don't know as much as Borough President Adams about the police officers, but what I know, they are doing a wonderful, wonderful job, a very important one. What I know, every time we say that the city doesn't sleep, the police officers, they don't sleep also, 24/7. And everything that we are able to do in the city of New York, it is because of them. And I want to add also, there is no price for security or safety of New Yorkers. Without security and safety, there is nothing. The city is nothing. We have been fighting together with you, myself and my colleagues. We will continue to do that because this is the right thing to do. In the city, the administration should keep the promise and give you what you deserve, what you work for. And I commend you and I thank you for everything you have been doing and you will be doing for the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. City Councilor Keith Powers, representing the East Side of Manhattan. Thank you to the Borough President. Thank you to my colleagues for being out here. Thank you guys for serving our city. Are we in a little rain? Get us, we're going to be out here in the rain, right? Look, it feels like I'm out here 5 times a year just asking the city to support the people that serve this city every single day. Thank you, Robert Cornegy. You know, we shouldn't have to be out here doing press conferences just asking them to do the right thing all the time. This is just about basic fairness. This, to me, is one of the simpler issues that will come through this city council to help and stand up for those who are serving our city and should get the same treatment as those who came in right after them. And they should be able to get those same benefits. And we're not getting a little rain, tell us not to be out here. We have about, I don't know, 10 or so days left in the session in Albany. The first thing we can do is have the city council pass a home rule and send it up to Albany. And send a message to them. Send the message that the city of New York is standing up for our cadets. Robert Cornegy is going to drive it up himself. We told him he's going to drive it up himself. I'll go with them. We'll bring it up. We'll hand deliver it. And we want to send a basic signal, but I want to say one more thing. We have many more issues before this city when it comes to the police department. We have many more issues around pay and equity. This is just one of them. This should be the starting point. We should start here. We should do this, but there's many more. We talk about benefits and how we treat those who serve our city every day. I was down at the 9/11 memorial, standing up for the Victims' Compensation Act, my colleagues. It's a reminder of how important the people that serve this city are. And we can't just go down there one day a year and say, never forget, and we are thankful for those people who serve us. We can do it every single day by the things and the actions we take in this city. And the first thing we can do this year, and we should do it now, we should do it this week, is let's pass a home rule at the city council, send it up to Albany, do the right thing. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. And you're right, both feeding off of what the both councilpersons stated. Number one, never forget means not to forget those who were serving during the time. And what Dr. Eugene stated that the city never sleeps, but our law enforcement personnel, they don't even take a nap. They protect the city full time, and let's make sure we protect their benefits. Thank you very much.